are then with the Led Zeppelin song, the band song from all guitar shops, but luckily we're not in a guitar shop today, we're in my home studio, so we can do whatever the hell we like in here. This is a song that a lot of people actually shy away from learning because they think, oh well, you know, it's a little bit cliche, and it really is one that's well worth learning, particularly to force you into certain chord shapes with the left hand, finger picking with the right hand to start with, and then it changes halfway through the song. Jimmy Page mostly just holds the plectrum in his mouth while he's doing the first bit. He's doing like this, and he's going. I might take it out of my mouth just for the first bit, just so you can hear what I'm saying, but we're going to dive through all the ins and outs, including the epic solo from this Led Zeppelin absolute classic. So join us for this lesson series, and if you love Led Zepp like I do here, do make sure that you become a member of the channel. You can suggest other Zepp songs for us to tackle. The tab's free in the link below, so please sign up, help out if you can, and let's get into it then. Part 1 of Stairway to Heaven. First thing to mention is that it's a very long song, and these sections come around many, many times. So we're going to cover the intro here, but it does change the next time it comes around. So bear in mind that lots of variations are possible. We're doing all the variations that can be heard on the album. So first of all, let's talk about the shapes that we need to do here. This is shape 1. Standard tuning, we're on the bridge pickup, and this is normally played with an acoustic guitar. However, we're going to do it with an electric guitar like Jimmy Page does live on stage, and I'll run you through some of the settings for that later on. So let's talk about it. So the first shape is this A minor. Let's just talk about the next shape as well here. So the first finger stays in position really throughout the first 3 chords. So A minor, first finger flat across the top 3 strings. The next one, you've got a 2nd and 4th finger. The 2nd finger hits that 6th fret on the D, and the 4th finger is on the 7th fret on the top E. The reason you don't use the 3rd finger is because Jimmy Page doesn't use the 3rd finger, and also it means you can go widen out the hand into this C major shape here. And then it drops to a D in a first inversion, so the F sharp's in the bass. Then we've got the F that follows it with an open E string. Which is a lovely F with a major 7th, which is the E in the top. And then we have this sort of G, A minor resolve. But we have certain notes missing from that, so we just get... So the next thing to talk about is what do we do in the right hand. The thumb is going to outline the first note of each chord change. So this 7th fret here is played with the thumb, then the 6th in the next line, and then the 5th, and then makes sense to keep them all there. And then the other fingers that we're going to use are the 1st, 2nd and 3rd in that sequence. So we have thumb 1, 2, 3. And then here, thumb and 3, because it's logical to keep the strings the same. So 3, 2, 1, 3, and then we open up the hand. Same again, 2, 1, 3, move down, thumb and 3, 2, 1, 3. This makes sense to do it like that. Then we have, so thumb, 1st and 2nd finger on the right hand, skipping out the D string, and then we have the thumb here. Then I use the thumb for the bottom A and the next one. So that's my little controversial thing to do. Most people would use the 1st finger. But I don't like it because that means that you then use your little pinky finger for the top string. So I don't want to do that. I want to match what we've done before. So let's talk about that first section, and I'll play it through for you with just a few little notes here. So A minor, second and fourth finger on the left hand, then spread out the hand. This is the hardest movement here. It's easier if you keep that first finger flat. Slide it down into the F. And then I'd make that A minor shape in full, but skip out the D string. Then, careful not to play that too loudly. It's so easy to go, like have it way louder than the rest. Slide with the third finger up to that, and then we have an open, thumb again, and then back to this. Slide. So yeah, there's a few interesting things here. Jimmy Page holds down his pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string on this chord before he then takes it off. He never plays that pinky on the 3rd fret of the high string. It's just interesting he thinks of that as a C with a G in the top. But anyway, you can play it as a normal C. Thumb, first finger, second finger. You can use your pinky. And then we're going to do thumb and third finger here. Now I would play this as a normal D shape into that F, but Jimmy Page likes to do things differently. He plays it with the first finger barred across. Which is an interesting way of doing it. So you can have that option if you want. Into the F. This is essentially an A minor shape. You can actually hold that F and just replay the first finger, but it does have a bit of sort of wrong harmony underneath. So form the A minor shape. Second finger there, and then into the C. And that's one of the advantages of forming that C shape with the high G in the pinky finger that we talked about right at the beginning of this section. Because you're already ready for it there. That's a D shape, normal D shape he plays it like this time. As we carry on, thumb, thumb. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, then move over to the thumb and the third finger. Again, you can do it in the Jimmy Page way. Form the A minor. And then we repeat back to the beginning section, which is something that's going to come round a lot. So in verse 1, we're in bar 17, same as the intro. Spread that hand, jump it down, F with the E in the top. Nothing new about there. There's no sliding. It just goes into a sort of pure second repeat here. And we're carrying on with our intro part 2. A little bit of a different note there with that higher C on the B string. There's a little double sort of arpeggiation with that E and B there as well, which is different to before. So there's a few little variations that I'm just running through here. Sometimes live you also get a... Then we're on to verse 2, which we're going to carry on with because it's not that different to verse 1 here. Just jumping over the page to page 3 of our tab. I'd say this is probably the most different bit that we've come up to so far before we get to the chorus section. So it's a little bit faster. So I do thumb thumb. And then we get this faster section. And then there's a little like dead note before the change happens here. And then you slide. And then little dead note again. Before you then take the pick out of your mouth, which I'm going to pretend I've had in this whole time, and I've just been able to speak incredibly well, take it out, and then you do this. Huge arpeggiation on the G chord, full G with the 3rd fret on the B string played with your 3rd finger, and then you're into the chorus on a 12-string electric. It's a chord that everybody gets wrong here. It's an A minor with a pinky on the 3rd fret on the top, so that's fine. But there's also an open G. So you've got the 7th, the G in your A minor, doubled. And that's why it sounds kind of special. So this one here is not a D chord as well, it's leave the G and the E open. And then we go back to that A minor. And there's a lot of little dead notes here with which are plucked, so. So let's just run through that. So this A minor 7, little dead note, which I try and hit the D string. And then it's 3, 2 and 1 on the 9th, 8th and 7th frets there. And then 3, 4 and 1. Back to the A minor. That's a nice one. And that's how we get through the chorus part. It doesn't change too much except for some of the little dead note strums which we're going to come on to later. Now we're diving into verse 2 though, which because we've covered before I'm going to keep in this same video here. The thing to mention is that because this is played on the 12 string and also the acoustic at the same time, essentially the notes are the same, but on the 12 string there's a particular reason why we have to do down, 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 up. It's so that we catch the bottom note of the double strings first. So trust me and play this picking pattern. So 3rd finger slide in, down, 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 up. Then we do this sort of half G, and then we form the A minor. Then we're going over into bar 51 to that section repeated again. So we have this little C. And weirdly, Jimmy Page plays those two with up picks when he does it live. Which I kind of get, it kind of has a staccato effect, but just bear that in mind, that's what he does live, so we'll copy that. Then we're back into chorus 2. A little bit different there on the repeat. Back to the A minor. Then to verse 3, which we're going to carry on with because it's the same as verse 2 pretty much. There's a slight kind of dead note. I don't know if it's a mispick or not, but it certainly has that. On to bar 68. Do the up picks if you can. Then we're on to chorus 3, we're still carrying on. So one of the differences comes here in bar 77. Double dead note before the... So there's a double dead note in bar 79, which is different, and then also the electric guitar does this octave 3 times, whereas the acoustic guitar goes back round to bar 81. So 2 doubles there. Verse 4. On to our next page. You see what I mean? We spent a while doing these in our earlier part of the video because a lot of the song is this. Back to chorus 4. Then back to the A minor. So doubles there, then on to verse 5. This is going to be a long video because these are the verses repeating round essentially, but we're going to do it. So dead note again. On to bar 102. So still on the bridge pickup, we've got this D chord. Quite easy, really. So, D chord. Look, the sun's shining on my thumb. That's nice, isn't it? So D major. Then we've got this little run up here. So open E. So second finger off, second finger on. And then third finger on the G, so. This is that weird chord I was talking about, so it's a C major, really. Second finger, dead note, open, third finger, and then the first finger sits behind on the second fret. So it's like a D major over a C. And then we go to this odd bit here with the first finger. That's the only way I can realistically see how this little arpeggio is played. It definitely sounds like a 4/2 open on the album. I know that live Jimmy Page does, he doesn't really play those notes, so I think the only way you can realistically do it is to do a first finger, second finger, first finger, and then a third as a run down. And then we hit the solo. The first thing you do is you grab that 7th fret on the G string and you bend it up with some vibrato to a full bend. The next thing you do is you practice your pentatonic and you do a down pick, up, down. So 5, 8, 5 with the little pinky doing the little thing. up, down next, 7/5, and then the third finger flattens across, and then we have 3/1, slide up to the 8th fret with that third finger. So that's the way we tackle that. Next, the bit I really struggled to get until I watched it live because I was confused. There's a bend from the 8th fret to the 10th. So that's a... Then what happens here is Jimmy Page, in a very ballsy move, does a 4th finger bend here on the 8th to the 10th on that top string. So then you slide up to the 10th. So after that 8th fret bend with the 4th finger, a bit like Zakk Wylde, slide up with the 3rd finger. So all alternate picks. And this note here, sometimes in a live situation he changes it for a 9th, which I don't like because then it anticipates this next bend to that same note. So we don't do that on the album. We get... Then we're diving down to that 7th fret again, 3rd finger, down pick, 4th finger, little cheeky bend there, which I love. It's all alternate picks. Probably the best bit of the solo, the open string. So this bit here, 3/1, 3/1, 3. Now this was another little section that I struggled to get right for a long time because I used to think it went down here and then slid up there, but it doesn't actually. It slides from that 8th fret to the 12th. So just one more time, slide to the 12th, down, up, down, down, up, slide. Now we're getting to difficult territory here. That's an up pick, crucially. And it's down, down. So down, down, and that's all a bend and release at the same time. So there's no other picks there, so down, down, then down, up. You do the 15th fret bend full, and then release, and then we get... So it's a little bit repetitive. And then in the background there's a sort of secondary guitar, which I wouldn't recommend playing if you're going to play along with the track, but you get... So it's a 12th bend for a half, and then you get a 10th with a pre-bend. So that 10th is a fret and a half pre-bend. And then this is the most interesting bit in terms of weird soloing. You get 19th fret. So 2nd, 3rd and 1st finger. So you release, and then you go straight over into that next bend up, 2nd finger, and then you get this guitar in the background again. Now the Jimmy Page sort of main guitar line is from the 12th fret here. And you get the guitar in the middle. And then this is the most weird one. 9th fret, 2.5 fret bend. That's why you have to have quite loose strings like Jimmy Page does. I think he plays with 8s. I've got 9s on at the moment. It is possible. Up to the A. And then you get this sort of release. And then the last shape, not actually as difficult as it might sound. There's a little dead note. So then you flatten your first finger across the 17th frets on the B and E, and then you do a third finger release on the 20th, ending with a down pick, and then we're on to the outro. So Jimi Page actually does this with a thumb. So that's an A minor with the dead notes, G major, and then he does this, F major. So it's in threes. So to achieve that, just press it down and then off, off, press, off, off. And then it goes up to the G, A minor again. Now this time it's different, you get this bit. Now live, then he no longer does the bar chords, he does an A minor, or sort of an A with the first finger, in the open position, a G. So that's how the next bit's tackled as we hit the last page. Got two more of them. The last Jimi Page, good joke. And then you've got more bar chordy sounds here. And then you have this F chord with the E in the top. One more time. And then what happens is you get the final outro section. And then what happens is the backing continues as Jimi Page does this. And that's it. In the live version, after she's buying a Stairway to Heaven, you get a little bit of... But on the album, Jimi Page just goes, Dunzo, finished. And we're finished as well. Thanks for checking out this series, the full extended lesson on how to play Stairway to Heaven. Every note that's played just like the album with some picking directions and stuff. If you've made it all the way through, do think about subscribing, liking the video, and the membership makes all the difference here. There's the cheapest option, which it will really help us out, or the more expensive option if you have an extra few pennies. But thanks for watching this. We'll see you in another video series. There's more Led Zeppelin available as well on the channel. Just type it in. Free tabs in the link below, and we'll see you later.